This is this way. Come up to the front, please. Okay. God, I haven't seen some of you for a long time. So excuse me if I've forgotten some of your names. I hear you've been doing a lot down here. Some good stuff. We're going to head off in a slightly different direction. But before we do that, that has a lot of... Anyway, I can cope with it. Sorry. Before we do that, the person who was supposed to be leading you through this week was Stephanie Speak. And unfortunately, life circumstances were such that she was not able to do that. So if you'd like just to spend a little moment and send some nice thoughts her way, that'd be nice. Because she's going through some, one of those important times of life with her partner. Okay. So the direction we're heading is in the direction of exploring breathing. And you've all heard about timing, and you've all heard about orientation, and you've all heard about manipulation. But every now and then, Feldenkrais includes a fourth element in his usual clicking off of those three, and he includes breathing. And because breathing is one of those self-maintenance functions that without which you and I would not be here. So he includes that. And that's why I chose this particular kind of avenue to explore with you. It's going to be fairly consistent for the whole week. We're not going to diverge very much from breathing. It'll be just one topic, whole week, from different perspectives, different avenues. We'll be looking at quite a few videos, looking at the structure and anatomy associated with breathing. I'll be offering some theories and ideas from other fields that really travel parallel to the kind of thinking that you've been doing here. I'll do that pretty soon this morning. And Ruth will be teaching some lessons, and Lisa will be helping out also with the FIs, or some of the FI-like ideas that we'll be playing with. There'll be a nice series of lessons that were originally taught by this guy called Mark Rees, who was from the United States and one of the first United States people to study quite intensively with Moshe. And they're a nice series of lessons. So there'll be variety, but pretty much down the breathing track. All right. So let's consider three different questions. The first one, which I can remember, and the other two, which I'll have to consult my computer with, but the first one I can remember. So just reflect for yourself, eyes open, eyes closed. And, you know, if someone was to really ask you, what is the most important thing that you could tell them? One, the single most important thing that you could tell them about breathing. What is it that you would tell them? So this is just a reflection for yourself. And the reason I'm asking you to reflect on this is sometimes people do ask you that. So what would it do? What would you tell them? One thing. And the second question is to reflect upon, is there some breathing related experience in your life that comes to mind? Something that really was significant and breathing related? Could be in this room, could be in the outside world. And then the third thing is, if you could find out one more thing about breathing, one thing that you really wanted to know about it, what would it be? It could be practical, could be theoretical, could be esoteric. And sometime during today, if you could chronicle those reflections, and then maybe we'll come back to them at the end of the week or whatever, it'll be good. So, you're practicing a particular system of somatic education. And are you all familiar with that term, somatic education? Yes? Yes? No? No. Okay. It's an important term to know because it is a complete field that exists out in the world, and we're part of it. And it's a term that was coined by Thomas Hanna, who graduated from a training by Moshe Feldenkrais in the United States back in the 1970s. He was a philosopher, and he started to think, what is it that joins all these different fields? Alexander technique, Feldenkrais method, body-mind centering, idiokinesis, sensory kinetic studies. And he came up with an answer. All of these particular systems study the body from a first-person perspective, from the perspective of sensing yourself, rather than cutting up the body with cadavers, doing measurements with different electronic equipment. So it really is. The field of somatics is the field that studies the body, the living body, the lived body, from a first-person perspective. And this is what you have in common with all the different somatic approaches. So you're not alone. And the beauty about somatics is it really links in with a particular stream of educational thinking that was very prevalent in the 1940s, which was the notion that the most important thing for children and then adults to do is to learn through experience. That experience was primary in the learning process. Which means get out and do stuff, or get out and play with stuff, or get out and, actually pick it up, smell it, do things with it, rather than just learn it from a third-person perspective. And I think the cartoon that most typifies the antithesis of that, the opposite of that, is that Looney cartoon where you have the father and the son sitting in front of the television. And on the television screen, there's this beautiful sunrise coming up, blah, 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 blah. And to the left of them, they have an open window and the sun's coming up over there. So rather than watching the sun through the window, they're watching it on TV, yeah? So you can get lots and lots of facts about breathing from lots and lots of books. But until you research those facts in your own experience, they're just facts outside of yourself. You haven't encountered the sunrise. You've just read a bunch of facts. Yeah. So that's also a very, very, very important stream. And we'll get to other ones soon. But I think that's probably enough for now. So let's go into what I would call a very, very extended scan of breathing. That's basically what it is, just a long scan looking at all the details, starting off that first experiential research. Yeah? How do you start to pick up stuff? And then how do you stay awake while doing it? Because after a while, it gets very cruisy in there, and it's like, yeah? So this is the thing to practice. How can you do something so minimal and still stay crisp with your attention? Which is not an easy thing. And yet, this is what you're dealing with your ATM classes, yes? Yeah, they lie down, they think, oh, nice, sleeping time. No, it's attending time, right? So that's what you want. Now, I know there's lots of stuff around the room, but that's fine. You can dodge around the stuff because we're going to start off walking. So please stand up and we'll start our first little process.